Hey guys, today I'd like to talk to you about political ideologies. And in order to talk about political ideologies, I would like to use this book by David Koyzis. David Koyzis is a PhD in political theory from Notre Dame and does honestly one of the nicest jobs I've seen at putting on not putting on put five major political ideologies, putting them on a spectrum that is not merely a left-right spectrum. In fact, most of the time we see and understand politics, we tend to just hang people or ideologies on far left ideologies or far right ideologies. Um, so let's examine in that book he discusses five basic ideologies and he actually discusses them in the context of idolatry, and what he means by this is that these ideologies tend to take the place of God. And so politics and religion have always really just had a love-hate relationship, and over time you get different combinations of politics and religion, and even in our own nation, the American enterprise, we have a very particular approach to politics and religion. And so in this book, he explores really five dominant ideologies, and they are liberalism, conservatism, nationalism, democracy, and socialism. And even the subtitles from the book are very helpful as descriptors for these ideologies. For liberalism, you have sovereignty of the individual. So really, first and foremost, the individual is the most important uh, entity in the governing enterprise. Conservatism emphasizes history as a source of norms. So you should never ignore history, you should conserve history. And then nationalism, the nation is deified, where, for example, you have the nation of Germany, and during World War II, and they are arguing and placing their own nation above all other nations. And extreme nationalism then seeks to, if you will, dominate the world for your nation as such. Democracy, Vox Populi, Vos Dei, means basically the voice of the people is the voice of God. Notice the difference between democracy versus liberalism. And then finally, socialism, common ownership as salvific. And what you'll notice throughout all five of these ideologies is that they're all salvific. In fact, every single ideology listed here argues for salvation through their own ideology. Now, here's the spectrum I'm talking about: freedom versus authority, equality versus inequality. And honestly, the equality is equality of outcomes largely, and then inequality is inequality of inequality of outcomes, but more so equality of beginnings, right? So top left you have anarchism, and then bottom left you have communism. So anarchism is arguing for freedom, for equality, whereas communism is arguing for authority with equality. Versus classical liberalism, arguably the ideology of the early founding. Classical liberalism, so people like John Locke would be arguably a classical liberal, and that's emphasizing freedom with allowing for inequality of outcomes. And then Nazism and fascism would be arguing heavy authority, but with inequality among the nations or within their own nation. And then conservatism is would be erring more on the side of authority than freedom, but toward inequality. Now, the U.S., I would place it, depending on administration of presidency, I would place it somewhere around the middle, but it moves around all the time. All right, I hope that was helpful for understanding political ideologies. Have a great day.